Hello and welcome to Ready Bet Action. We are coming at you recording on a Friday for the weekend, giving you some Final Four and some other weekend picks. We got our Final Four picks for you for the two games on Saturday. Stefan will also have some soccer to get you through the weekend. So that's really the main sports slate, unless you're really into golf and those things, which, we'll have some golf experts on or something over the spring and summer. For sure. I think that would be a fun thing. But really, this is the sports that are going on this weekend. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's just start with the Final Four. And before we talk about picks, Stefan, as a UConn fan, how are you feeling about your Huskies and just continuing domination? Or are you nervous about that?
Maybe I should be nervous, but I'm not. I think. I think, Alabama is a great team. It's a fun story. We've talked about their lack of defense. This is a tough ask for Alabama to be able to play with UConn up and down. Klingon has been incredible. Caravan is amazing. Those are the two big dudes down low. And then, of course, the shooting is amazing. When you have got that freshman, Stephon Castle has been outstanding. He's won freshman of the month numerous times. And then, of course, Tristan Newton, Cam Spencer. I just named our starting five, and I love all those guys. I just don't see how Alabama slows us down enough. So I think UConn covers. I think UConn covers, but it's not a show for me on the official.
I agree. I almost made that the pick because I think they'll just curb stomp Alabama. They can play defense and they can score just as much as Alabama can score.
Yeah.
I think their offense is 28th ranked and, Alabama's third or something, but it's they're still these upper quadrant teams in offense, but UConn plays defense and Alabama does not. And that is a recipe for disaster for Alabama tomorrow, I think.
I mean, remember a week ago I forget who Illinois was playing. I said, we're on Illinois. They're right now, according to Ken Palm, they are the number one offense. And then they ran into UConn and everything ended. They had another great game, and UConn just said nope, scored 30 in a row, and that was that for Illinois. So really impressed by them. And this Purdue game, NC State is a fun team. The first college sports team I ever watched was NC State football, because I was watching that over in Africa because one of my dad's friends was an NC State alum, so he had VHS tapes that we would watch. So I kind of have a soft spot for NC State, but this Purdue team, I picked them to lose a long time ago. I did not have them in the Elite Eight. I think I had them losing in the Sweet 16. So I was not a huge believer. I know you are more of a believer in Purdue. I'd love to see NC State cover. I don't know if they will. I like the side. I like how you are playing this from a betting angle. But you do believe in this Purdue team. I did like when they were cutting down the nets and Edey just kind of stood there and snip because he's so fucking tall. He didn't need the ladder. I'm sure, I forget the ladder that sponsors it, but I'm sure they were pissed. Hey, we won our shot with Edey.
I think it's Warner. Yeah, Warner's probably Warner. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
Dude, this is an NBA take, but it's related to so Zach Edey's 7'4", Victor Wembanyama is 7'4", and Edey's going to be a good big man in the NBA. He is. He's going to be a really good defender, especially. But dude, you just see how Wembanyama can move and how fluid he is compared to other people who are 7'4". I think the real comparison, and if you're how good is Wembanyama, and it's here's another 7'4" guy who's really good at basketball, but can't move and shoot and do all the things that Wemby can do. It's going to be interesting. It'll be really interesting. Let's start with that UConn Alabama game. We already previewed here. I'm picking. I have two same game parlays for us. I think the lines on these two games just straight up are rough. You said it. It's 11.5 is a big one to cover. I know UConn. I believe UConn will do it, but do I want some padding? Absolutely. So give me two offensive teams. I'm essentially taking the lowest number DraftKings will give us on both of these, and it's going to get us to -105. Actually, I don't think it's the lowest. I think you can get down to -4.5 for UConn, and that's why we're able to get some better juice on this one. So you're going to same game parlay over 155 for the game total. That should be an easy number to hit for these two. Current total, I think, is sitting at like 168. And then UConn to cover 6.5 points feels like a pretty safe win. If they're going to win, that's what's going to happen for all the reasons that Stefan already described. And then Purdue and NC State, we're going to another same game parlay. We're going to take the over 140.5. A lot of experts, I looked at betting the Purdue under because I do think NC State's defensive intensity has been proven to pick up since they've been since the ACC tournament. However, a lot of people are projecting this game to be like in the 80s, and so if you tease this number all the way down to 140, the lowest over number you can get, I do think we'll hit that. Look, I'm taking Purdue on the money line and to win this game with a lot of confidence because the strategy to take someone out of a game like Zach Edey, and I think this is what people thought would happen and why we all should have been disappointed in Purdue, would be to get him in foul trouble and get him on the bench. The refs are not calling fouls on this man. And like there's some egregious stuff happening and they just aren't. And people keep saying every round, well, if you get him in foul trouble, just get him in foul trouble. The dude literally isn't getting called for fouls. Like, so I'm assuming that trend's going to continue. And if Edey plays the whole game like he's been playing these other ones, like, dude, he's like no one, even Burns, big boy Burns, I love him. He's a national hero at this point. Dude, the 7'4" blocking and all the things that Edey can do, unless he gets in foul trouble, I think Purdue wins this pretty easily. But I've been betting against NC. The show hasn't been betting against NC State. I have a lot, so do take that maybe into consideration. That's it. That's my Final Four take. Stefan, you want to talk through soccer? Any comments on Final Four?
No comments. No more comments. I've spoken enough. I like your plays. I mean, Burns could get that 140 just by himself. Let's go.
Yeah, baby boy Burns.
So I like those. Yeah, let's head into soccer. Let's talk about it. Let's start in the Premier League. We're going to start with a parlay. We're going to take Man City on the money line. They play Crystal Palace at Crystal Palace, so in London, but it's Man City. So we just need Man City to win. And then the other side of this bracket, we're going to take the Luton Town versus Bournemouth. We're going to take Bournemouth to win or tie. We get that together at minus 135. Luton Town, again, in 18th spot at the moment, really struggling. Meanwhile, Bournemouth continue to win. They're not putting up a ton of goals. They're winning 1-0, 2-1, that sort of thing, but they continue to win. I think they're like one of the hottest teams in England outside of the top three. I think they continue to win, but I just liked playing it a little bit safer. Get this at minus 135 with this double chance play on Bournemouth. So like that play an awful lot. We're going to stay in England. We're going to stay in London. We're going to take West Ham. Actually, no, they're traveling to Wolverhampton. They play Wolves. We're going to take West Ham to win or tie against Wolves, who have been really struggling. They have a bunch of injuries. Like if you think about like a team's top three players all being out, like that's exactly what's going on with Wolves. That's a real problem. Meanwhile, West Ham are looking pretty decent. Kudus is really coming into form since coming over from the Eredivisie. Took him a little while to really get going, but he certainly is. Bowen will be playing. Paqueta is playing. We've talked about Paqueta on the show and the impact he has on this West Ham team. So we're going to take West Ham to just win or tie, and we're going to parlay that with Liverpool to win or tie at Manchester United. So again, Man U, historically a great team. We had them to draw the other day. They went down 2-0 to Chelsea. They came back, Eric, and we're up 3-2, 10 minutes into extra time when all of a sudden, well, I shouldn't say extra time, injury time, whatever we call it here, Chelsea gets a penalty and the draw is on. My plus 300, I actually bet it later, so it actually moved to plus 330. So I was like, yes, the draw's in play. A minute later, Chelsea scores again. Manchester lose 4-3. It was fantastic. Fun way to lose a bet, although I hate Chelsea too. But anyway, we're going to take Liverpool to win or tie against Manchester United, parlaying that with West Ham on the double chance at minus 120. Let's move over to Germany. We are going to take a team that just refuses to lose or even tie. They almost got their first loss of the year last week against Heidenheim. Or maybe it was Hoffenheim. Now I don't remember. It started with an H, though, and ended with an M. But they were down 1-0 and in extra time, like after the 90th minute, in like those extra 4 to 6 minutes or whatever, they scored not once but twice to win. So yeah, Leverkusen refuses to lose. They're playing Union Berlin, who's really struggled this year. They're a team that we continue to pick against. So we're going to take Leverkusen to win and over 1.5 goals. And we get this at -115. To me, this number is way too short. So I like it an awful lot, or way too tall. I don't know. It's good value. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Eric. My final play, nope. Yes, my final play, because I'm not going to do the AC Milan play. My final play, we're going to take Bologna, which is another one of my favorite Serie A teams. We're going to take them on the double chance to win or tie as they travel to play Frosinone, who's a fine squad. They're actually, mid to bottom of the table. I've bet against them plenty this year, and when I've taken the team on the money line against them, I've been a little bit shocked and disappointed. So we're going to do the double chance this week. We're going to do Bologna on the double chance. And then we're going to take Inter Milan, the number 1 team in Italy. I don't think it's quite time. I mean, they don't have the Champions League anymore. So they're playing their starters here. They don't have any games to worry about. So we're going to take Inter Milan on the money line versus Udinese, parlayed with Bologna on the double chance. We get that at -145. Those are my plays.
Can I add a soccer pick?
Yes.
I have a soccer pick.
Let's go.
For the MLS. This is my favorite pick. And it like has won multiple times and won last fall. This pick is null and void and doesn't count towards the show if Messi or Suarez don't play. Like if they both don't play, if one of them plays, this is a pick.
It's on.
All right. Inter Miami on the money line at home versus the Colorado Rapids and over 1.5 goals. You can get that at +110. This is such a fun MLS group to watch. The Rapids are actually going to be a little better this year, but definitely not on the road in Miami, and they're still not a very good MLS team. I think Zach Steffen adding them as keeper is kind of their big off-season move, and they were just atrocious last year. So, watch out. Miami might look at the Rapids and be like, let's rest our guys, against this squad. So definitely pay attention to the starting 11s before you make this bet.
And you usually get that about an hour and a half before the game in soccer. Yep. So, and you can just go on your app and hit lineups, and it usually shows it right there. So you can see, and that's a great call. Something that I texted you about like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, Messi's playing. I'm doing it. It's kind of like a unspoken rule that when Messi and Suarez or Messi or Suarez play, just take Miami on the money line and over 1.5 goals.
It's just an auto bet. It's an auto. Like I wish I could set up DraftKings to have a rule to just do it for me.
DraftKings, if you're listening, this could set you apart from FanDuel. FanDuel, if you're listening, this could set you apart from DraftKings.
And sponsor the show. Please sponsor the show.
Either, both. We'll take it.
All right. This is the part of the show where we run things down. I will kick us off with our final 4 picks, and then I will hand it off to Stefan to finish up the soccer for the final 4. We got a couple same game parlays for you. In the Alabama-UConn game, give us over 155 for the game total, plus UConn to cover 6.5. So both of those are alternative totals. For the Purdue-NC State game, we're going to do another same game parlay of over 140.5, and then we're going to take Purdue to win straight up. My one soccer pick is in the MLS. Give me Inter Miami versus the Rapids on the money line, plus over 1.5, and that's going to get you a nice, juicy plus 110.
I like that a lot. Some more soccer plays from the weekend, Eric. I'll hit the buttons for us here. Nice. We're going to start with Man City on the money line, parlayed with Bournemouth on the double chance. Our next play is Leverkusen on the money line and over 1.5 goals when they travel to Berlin. We're going to take West Ham on the double chance, parlayed with Liverpool on the double chance. And our final play, Inter Milan on the money line, parlayed with Bologna double chance.
All right, that's it. Let's go make some money, everybody.